Hello and welcome to Katie K Plays. I'm Katie, and today I just wanted to do a quick update video for you. As I mentioned in my last episode, I was going to be doing some work off camera to get us some simoleons and hopefully some stock for our store. Well, as I mentioned previously, all the exciting things happen when I'm not recording. So instead of taking up half an episode just to give you the updates on what happened, I decided to do a quick video in between so I can share all the updates with you guys. So first of all, turns out our girl Kaya is a snack. I mean, I know she's beautiful, but she has so many guys that are interested in her. It's so funny because I figured this was going to be one of those things we struggle with because of how it started in the beginning. I guess it helps that she's not socially awkward anymore, but she has guys hitting on her and asking her out left and right. So I had just gotten her started on the day I was planning on getting her out digging so we could find some metals, and I was just having her jump in the shower when Avery called and asked her out on a date. So I immediately started recording because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I'll throw up some snippets of the date. As you saw from the screenshot, he invited us out to this little bistro, which was pretty cute. Thought it was a good choice for a place to go out. And it took them a little bit. You can see here they're being a little awkward with each other. It took them a little bit to warm up to each other, but I did see the same thing with Kaya and Nathaniel, so I tried not to judge it too much. They were on their phones a lot, and this restaurant just had a totally different vibe than the one we went out to with Nathaniel, because I feel like they were in the corner. They had a little space for themselves. They weren't bothered too much. With Nathaniel, she's just so autonomously flirty, and he is too, where there wasn't a lot of that going on between the two of them. But they have friendship with each other, but they don't know each other all that well. So I was like, okay, they're just getting to know each other and feeling the situation out. But like I said, it's just a very awkward vibe between the two of them. Just like with Nathaniel, I didn't force any romance or romantic interactions. I stuck to getting to know you questions and friendly interactions. That way, if they wanted to flirt, they could flirt, but I wasn't going to force it. Then the other thing that was super annoying about this place was people just constantly came in and butted into our conversations. I know it's a Sims thing, but I did not have that on hers and Nathaniel's date. It was just, them bringing their food and checking on the table. It was not random Sims just coming in and butting in the conversation. It's almost like they knew like these two were on a date, whereas these two, they're so awkward with each other. There's no chemistry and no vibe like that they were actually on a date. So there were a few times I had to go into MC Command Center and send the sim away. I really need to get that mod where you can just right click on the dialogue box up top and cut them out of the conversation, because here's another one that just came up and decided to strike up a conversation with them, and it's really annoying. After I had to kick out the third sim to come interrupt our conversation, and it was pretty obvious that we weren't going to get our food, nobody in the restaurant did, and there wasn't too much going on in the kitchen, I decided to, instead of giving up on the date altogether, continue to give Avery a chance just to see where it went. I want to make sure Kaya rules out all of her options before she decides if she wants to make things official with Nathaniel. We would check out the pier at Copperdale. I figured there was a few things you can do and just be a fun day. Kaya gets out a lot, but it's also really focused on her aspiration in the business. So I try when I'm working off camera with her to at least get her out into the world and have some fun experiences. So I figured this would be a good way to do that for her. So we started off with going on the Ferris wheel. And then I had them take a cute little picture together. I didn't do a romantic one or anything. I figured they're just getting to know each other. So I just had them do a friendly photo. I also love that there's an ice rink here. I don't know if this is one that just automatically spawns in or the person that made the save file used Tool to put that in there, but I think that should be a permanent addition and putting in the roller rink when it's nicer out, because that's just an extra fun activity for them to do here, because we all know there's rides and everything, but there's still not a lot going on this pier. So I thought that was a cool thing to have in there. And then I figured this would be the ultimate test, is to have them go on the love ride just to see what happened. Usually I only have Sims that are actually in a relationship go on there, but like I said, I figured this would be a good test to see if there was chemistry. And in just a minute, we'll get the pop-up. And there it is. So again, like I said, I figured this would be the perfect test to see if they have chemistry and if there's any chance of us getting into a relationship with him. And this kind of solidified, like, even though I already was leaning away from Avery, I was like, okay, this is definitely my sign that this just isn't going to work out. So we finished off the date with Avery by asking to just be friends, and of course they were both okay with it. So Kaya and Avery went and ice skated at the pier, and then I sent Kaya home so that we could hopefully start working on making jewelry and crystals. Jay Huntington III showed up at our door. So we spent a little time chatting, and then I know there was a little interest on Jay's side. Kaya found him attractive, and even though they had bad chemistry, I figured, you know what, we're just going to use today to knock out all of our dates with all of our prospective Sims so that Kaya has a chance to explore her interests, because I've had it in mind for a while that Nathaniel is going to be the Sim that we end up with, but I wanted to make sure that Kaya had the chance to go on a few dates with a few other Sims just to make sure and just to see if we did have chemistry with somebody else. So we went to a local bar in Willow Creek by Kaya's house, and it seemed to start off okay. Again, there was some awkwardness. They spent quite a while just staring at each other and nodding, as Sims do. But once they had a drink in them, they started opening up a little bit more and chatting. But again, there was no autonomous flirting, and they both just kind of seemed a little bit more interested in the Sims around them as opposed to each other. So I let Kaya get to know Jay a little bit, and then when I tried to have her take a selfie with him, he just peaced out. So that was another unsuccessful date, but I am glad that Kaya had the opportunity to explore that a little bit and to get out and spend time with some other Sims. And then what just kind of solidified it for me with Nathaniel. You know, she had, I wouldn't say they were horrible dates, but 2 unsuccessful dates with 2 different Sims. She came home after a long day of being out, and I noticed that she had mail, but I never got a notification that bills were due. So I had her check her mailbox, and Nathaniel had sent her a package. Now, I've never really played with the mentor mechanic in The Sims before, so I didn't realize that mentors would occasionally send their mentees packages. But I still think that it was cute. It was Gardening Volume 2 that was in the package. But just the entire time I've been playing with Kaya and trying to go towards other Sims, Nathaniel always managed to find a way to pop up. So I think I can officially say that Nathaniel is our guy. So in the next episode, I have some plans so that him and Kaya can get together and they can finally make it official. And I'm really excited about that. I can't guarantee, obviously, that he's going to be our partner for the long run, but as of right now, I don't see any other candidates for her. But she is a popular girl, like I said in the beginning of this video, so you never know what'll happen. But I've known for quite a while now that I wanted Kaya to settle down with Nathaniel and hopefully get married and have kids with him. So we'll see how that plays out. The final update that I have for you all is I did a lot of work with Kaya on the gemology table, making jewelry and crystals, and then I did a few rounds on the selling table. So we were actually able to bank quite a lot of simoleons. I think we're just over 40,000 as of right now, which is amazing. And I'm hoping it'll carry us over for a while, because that opening day at the small business, I know it was only our first day, but it did make me a little nervous. I might do a little research to make sure I have everything set up right and see if there's a way to encourage people to actually browse and buy our items. Knowing this game is probably just a bug, but at least we have the selling table to fall back on if we need to. You know, in my eyes, Kai is still on the grind and doing what she loves, so I will just play into it as it comes, as you usually have to do when it comes to playing The Sims. But once we get settled with Nathaniel and make everything official, that means I can start building a little house or a cabin or something on the lot for Kaya, so we can eventually move out of Willow Creek and into Innis Green, so there's not a lot of back and forth. And you know, her house is cute, but I'm ready for a change. I'm sure she is too. I've been trying to stick around Willow Creek a little longer than I normally would have, just because Nathaniel's so close, and you know, they were neighbors, that's how they met, so I wanted to play into that a little bit. But if we're gonna start moving forward with him, he'll eventually be living with us anyway, so I'm okay with that. I am excited to see how that plays out. So those are my updates. Judging by the time I've been recording all these voiceovers, I'm glad that I decided to do a separate update video, or else this would have taken up the majority of the episode. And I always feel bad when I start off by just going on and on about things that happen off camera. So I may stick to this format if need be. And I did just want to take a moment to thank my subscribers. It really means a lot to me that you've been watching my videos and took the time to subscribe. You know, I'm just getting started on this, but it's been fun and exciting to see people just enjoy my videos and subscribing. So thank you for that. And I hope that you guys are enjoying Kaya's journey. I know I've been having so much fun playing with Kaya and taking it slow. I used to just rush through all of this stuff to get them to the point of being married and having kids, and it's been a different experience, and I'm really glad that I took this approach with Kaya. So if you're enjoying it as well, please just take a moment, if you haven't already, to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I should be getting the next episode out soon so that we can start moving forward with the rest of the goals of the first generation of the challenge. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next video.